The Jedi Order's increased involvement in political affairs had an adverse effect on Jedi Master Dooku, as he soon resigned to become the 20th member of the Lost 20. Residing in his family fortune on the planet of Serenno, the talents of the former Jedi did not go unnoticed, and the manipulative Sith Darth Sidious lured the Count to the dark side by preying on his disillusions with the Galactic Republic, and the death of Qui-Gon eliminated any hope of a return to the Jedi. The bonds to the Jedi were used to further the planning of the Sith, as the close ties to Master Sifo-Dyas had enabled for the creation of a secret clone army based around the template of the bounty hunter Jango Fett. The political skills of Dooku had also been put to use, as Sidious decided the Count should lead a Separatist Alliance, with some of the galaxy's most powerful figures opposing the Republic, and Palpatine could control the war from the comfort of his office. To the very end, Dooku had been unaware of the true intentions of his master, and aboard the dreadnought of one of his other creations, General Grievous, he was betrayed, and the Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker soon took his place, as the apprentice to the Dark Lord of the Sith. But what if Dooku was a double agent? How could he help the Jedi fight the Sith hiding in the shadows? As you're going to find out, Dooku's change of allegiance could have saved the lives of countless others. In his quarters of the Jedi Temple, Grand Master Yoda sat in the centre of the room, opposite of Master Windu. The wise Jedi could sense himself growing apart from his Padawan Dooku, and a resignation seemed inevitable. Windu was aware of the fallen Jedi of the past, and he did not want his Jedi friend to suffer the same fate, so they sought the advice of Dooku's closest Jedi companion Sifo-Dyas. Their fellow Jedi Master be concerned about the growing darkness that could topple the Order, and he decided that to keep Dooku from falling to the dark side, they needed to install a newly developed behavioural implant, known as an inhibitor chip. The Jedi are wary of controlling one of their most esteemed members in such a manner, but after a meeting with several other council members and the creators of the chip on Kamino, they proceed with the operation. Dooku also agreed to the safeguard against the dark side, and after the implementation, he left the Order as they'd expected. For a number of years, the Count of Serenno stayed apart from the corruption in the Senate of the Galactic Republic, until one day he heard a knocking on his palace doors. Placing his goblet onto his desk, he found a hooded figure in front of him, and even though his senses told him to refuse the stranger, he was curious and beckoned him inside. Beneath the hood had been Darth Sidious, and the secret Sith Lord knew that Dooku had left the Order, and gave him new ideas to defeat the corruption in the Senate. Dooku showed an interest in Palpatine's views, and after several meetings, he revealed that he had been part of the emerging Sith movement, and demonstrated his power. The former Jedi stared in amazement, as all of the pillars adorning his palace had been simultaneously lifted into the air, and his power was sure to be a rival to Yoda. But with the influence of the chip, Dooku still held an allegiance to the Jedi, and he realised he could have a bearing on the future of the galaxy. Choosing to accept the offer, Dooku realised that sacrifices had to be made, and as Palpatine returned to his apartment on Coruscant, he knew he could not communicate with the Jedi Council without his master's detection. But he still had one way out, and after Palpatine liked his idea of a clone army, he ordered his apprentice to use his connection to Master Sifo-Dyas to resume talks with the Kaminoans, then kill him. Dooku had no intention of murdering his closest Jedi companion, and informing the Jedi of his plan, they used a decoy shuttle for the Pikes to target, and gaining proof from Lon Pike that the shuttle had been destroyed, Sidious's trust in Dooku had been confirmed, and he revealed that he had been Palpatine. The Sith Lord was now under the impression that these clones were based around Jango Fett, and they would soon do his bidding, but the Jedi had been given a lot of Dooku's wealth to fund the army. The protocols that had been put in place by the mysterious Sidious had been quietly substituted for their own, and they knew that the Sith would try to start a war. But without the identity of Darth Sidious, the Jedi could not get proof without trying to find Dooku, and he lures them to Geonosis. The Jedi Knight Obi-Wan Kenobi had been given the mission to find the identity of the Sith, and landing with his starfighter in the rocky terrain, he reached a secret hideout, where Dooku had been holding a meeting with the other members of the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Dooku could sense the Jedi Knight, and quickly concluding the discussion, he asked the Jedi to jump down and sit beside him. Obi-Wan is quick to ask for the identity of Sidious, but as Dooku opened his mouth to speak, it appeared as if his tongue had been tied, and he realised that Sidious had his own safeguard against a form of betrayal. Dooku was now trapped between both the Jedi and the Sith. Beside Dooku, Obi-Wan looked at the leader of the Separatist Alliance in confusion. Dooku appeared to be babbling in his speech, and he searched around the room for the cause, but found nothing. Cautiously stepping out of the room, he ran back to his ship to try and contact the Jedi Council, but a storm had picked up and he had to use the Force to find a path through the rocks. But very soon, he sensed the darkness in the Force, and igniting his blade, he quickly found that the storm had not been natural to the planet. Darth Sidious had conjured the storm from his fury at the imminent betrayal of Dooku, as the sorcery he had cast over his apprentice had enabled him to detect a treachery, and he arrived to dish out the punishment. The Sith Lord casually pushed Obi-Wan before he could take one step towards him, and the Jedi is rendered unconscious, as he is then dragged by the droids to a secret location. Entering Dooku's hideout, the Separatists had made their escape in their transport, and he lifted Dooku into the air with the Force, choking the life out of him. The Count slumped onto the table as Sidious warned him that his next attempt to deceive him would result in a quick and painful death, as he then ordered him to use the droid factories he had built to start killing the Jedi. Back on Coruscant, Yoda and the Council had been waiting for Obi-Wan to give them the identity of the Sith Lord when they received a disturbing message from one of the Jedi healers. Dooku's chip had just gone over its limit of duress, and it had activated a signal within the chip to the Jedi Temple, so the Jedi alerted to Dooku and Obi-Wan being in danger. Yoda travelled in his starship alone, and reinforcements were on standby, as he followed the route that Obi-Wan had taken, and he immediately sensed that something was wrong with the Jedi. The Grand Master crept to the fading presence, and he was surprised to see a giant arena housing the Jedi. Yoda assessed the situation and jumped down from the ship to the dust-covered floor, then pushed all of the droids into the sides of the arena. The Geonosians fell into a silence as the Jedi ran up to one of the raised levels to free Obi-Wan from a Force cage. The younger Jedi did not look in a good state, and Yoda enhanced his speed to go back to his relocated ship before he scrambled away to one of the latest Republic medical frigates. The Jedi had clearly been heavily exposed to the dark side, and as Obi-Wan finally awoke, he struggled to resist the dark side. Sidious had been too powerful, and as the Jedi healers continued to dispel the effects, Yoda asked him what he had learned. The memories of the Jedi are patchy, but he crucially remembered that Dooku had not been able to reveal the identity of Darth Sidious, and they needed a method to get rid of the spell. The Jedi struggle for any ideas until they receive another signal from Kamino, and they realise that the mysterious Sith was staging an attack on the productions of their clone army. The recently anointed Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker led one of the newest fleets with Obi-Wan, and they are soon met by the Separatist fleet. The Jedi were aware that Dooku had to keep up his disguise by attacking them, but with the influence of Sidious, the Jedi are concerned that his chip could have been permanently altered. Anakin dived to the planet in his starfighter alongside R2-D2, and the Jedi sensed the darkness that he failed to recognise. Leading the ground assault as they sought to protect the cloning platforms, the Jedi ran inside, and he found a Dathomirian Asajj Ventress taking a sample of the clone template. Pushing it out of her hands and onto the floor, Anakin ordered her to tell him what was wrong with Dooku, but the Night Sister was oblivious to the problems of her master, as she found herself surrounded. The Republic forces watched Ventress backflip onto a passing fan starfighter, but Anakin had already gone to the Republic command base, as he had finally had an idea to remove the curse from Dooku. Upon hearing of Anakin's plan to ask the Night Sisters to remove the curse on Dooku, the Jedi are skeptical given their previous relations, but they had to trust in the Force. After completing the defense of Kamino, Obi-Wan and Anakin have no time to return to the temple, as the Council fear that more innocent lives could be lost if they didn't find the identity of the Sith, and they head straight for Dathomir. Descending into the Red Mist, the Jedi are met by the curious leader of the clan in Mother Talzin. Obi-Wan would need all of his famous negotiation skills to get the help they needed. The Jedi Master guided the impatient Anakin to the Night Sister lair, and surrounded by several warriors wielding their energy bows, the Jedi asks for their help. Talzin gazes into the crystal ball in front of her, and she sees visions of Dooku betraying Ventress against his will. The leader of the clan decides that they had to intervene before the likely death of Ventress, and she gathers some of the most powerful witches around a cauldron, then performs a complicated ritual. The spell of Sidious was immensely strong, and it could not be removed permanently unless he could be killed, and the Jedi had to procure the information from Dooku before the Night Sisters were depleted of their energy. Using intelligence that had been obtained from a mission to Cato Neimoidia, Dooku had been meeting with most of those of the Separatist Alliance. As he made a move to leave in his ship, the apprentice felt a strange probing in his mind and turned to meet the landing Anakin and Obi-Wan. Through great pain, he managed to tell them that Palpatine had been the one they were looking for before the ritual of the Night Sisters ended and Dooku fell to the ground. The Jedi quickly told the rest of the council of the development, and carrying Dooku aboard their ship, they followed the Jedi Masters from the other worlds in returning to Coruscant. Obi-Wan and Anakin arrive at the foot of the Senate building in time to see Yoda leading a group of the most esteemed duelists to the Chancellor's office. Ascending the turbo lift, Palpatine is surprised to see the Jedi surround him and point their lightsabers, so he summons his own blades, one from the sleeve of his robes and the other from beneath the dwarty statues that he had decorated the office with. The Sith Lord then surged to his holoprojector and proudly executed Order 66 to all of his clone commanders. Across the galaxy, the clones turned to the Chancellor in confusion, and all categorically denied knowledge of such an order, as Palpatine then turned to the smug-looking Jedi. All of the Jedi Generals simultaneously executed their own version of Order 66, and Palpatine could sense something gravely dangerous in the Force. The Sith Lord leapt out of the window onto his passing ship that had been summoned in time to rescue him, but all of the clone troopers surrounded him, aboard either Republic gunships or police vehicles. The opposing sides were in a standoff when the tired Dooku glared at Sidious, and the Chancellor realised he had been played at his own game. Palpatine leapt onto another building, and he muttered into his comlink for the cyborg General Grievous. After several moments, the Jedi Killer arrived to face the orders of Palpatine, which were to eliminate everyone on sight. The Kaleesh warrior rotated his 4 lightsabers at immense speed, and anyone crossing its path was met by an untimely demise. Mace Windu stepped in front to prevent more deaths, but as he repelled each attack, he found Grievous was learning all of his moves, and he leapt back. Using his Shatterpoint ability to find a weakness around the cyborg's torso, he reached out with his hand and crushed its chest, leaving him open to the remaining clones. The distraction allowed Sidious to make an escape, but he was being chased by Dooku and his Solar Sailor. With the help of a squadron of Nantek starfighters, they surround the ship of Sidious, and they draw him into one of their dreadnoughts. The Sith Lord did not have time to leave his ship before the droids fired at him, and he burst into flames along with his ship. Master Yoda had been the first of the Jedi to catch up to the Separatists, and he immediately offered Dooku for a return to the Jedi Order. The Count refused, as he still saw the same flaws that had got them into the war, but he agreed to shut down the droid army by deactivating the droid control ship. The Grand Master returned to the temple, and as he gathered the council members, he decided that their involvement in politics was over. The Senate took control of the clone army to protect themselves from further attacks, apart from the 501st Legion and 212th Battalion, who had rebelled against the Republic control to stay alongside their Jedi generals. Anakin soon revealed to the council of his marriage to Padme, and despite initially wishing to expel him, they feared they could not control him like they had done with Dooku, and allowed him to stay in the Order, eventually making him a master. Yoda hoped that Dooku would remain the last of the masters to leave the Jedi Order. That is it for What If Dooku Was a Double Agent. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.